I'm going to push back big time. Okay. I'm a white guy. I'm an Irish guy. You ready for this?
Yeah, we're
You
ready,
ready?
Jack.
Okay. Forget whether or not reparations, right? I'm not even going to step into whether or not it's appropriate. I'm not going to speak about that because I don't think I should. Um, I'll say this though. First of all, what's the African American population in the United States? 14%, 15%?
No, 38.
Okay, 38%.
Yes.
Okay,
That
Marcellus
that
did
that
the math.
that is what Marcel has said. But go ahead and make your point,
I
Jack.
never said that.
no,
I
no,
never
no,
said
it's
that
not.
actually.
No,
Oh, what was your number, Marcellus? What was your number?
it's under
Someone else
40
said
million.
38. Jack, Jack, hold on, please. What
Sure.
is true, we're at least 15%, but the census undercounts us while overcounting white people. And that is a fact.
So let me give
Oh,
you 25% for fun.
oh, okay, we got it. 25%.
25%. How do you think the 75%? I guess this is what I'm getting at. These politicians are going to tell you whatever the fuck you want to hear in order to get you to vote for them. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I'm not speaking as to whether it should or not. I'm saying they're going to tell you whatever you want to hear to get in office because they know damn well that if you only make up 25% of the population, they're only going to pander to you to the extent that they have to. That's a fact. You guys
Jack,
know it's true.
wait, hold on, not true. Japanese Americans got reparations, and they're not even probably 1% of the population. Okay, Native Americans only make up 3 to 5, and they get settlements, which is technically reparations all the time. Black Americans are way more than both of those groups put together. So yes, I agree with you. Politicians suck and they're awful. That's why I'm so mad at all of them. That's why I hate when people call me one. But the fact that it can't be done, that's what they also said about slavery and civil rights legislation.
Okay, good response. Next thing I want to ask you. Do you think it's fair that anyone who's migrated to this country after 1950 or 60 should be paying reparations to the black community?
They don't.
Absolutely,
Y'all, let me
yes.
answer it. Please let me handle this. Please let me handle this. First of all, if they were paying, I would say, yes, it is fair because they only came to this country because they only had a country to come to because Black Americans built it. But the truth of the matter is, Jack, reparation is not going to come from any individual. Because if that was the case, that would be Black Americans who would be paying reparations to ourselves. That would be the dumbest ass thing in the world. Reparation doesn't come from any American taxpayer. It comes from the federal government. And before someone tries to come to me with that played out thing that we weren't taught in school, no, federal government does not run off of taxes. No, it does not. The state government runs off of taxes. The federal government generates the currency that helps invest in the industry that gives us the money to pay taxes. The federal government, as said by Ben Bernanke and Alan Greenspan, can generate as much money as it needs to pay whatever bills it does. That's why we're able to bail out the airline industry, the auto industry, the banking industry, the cruise industry, the hospitality industry, cancel corporate debt, send pay for wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, send aid to all these countries, send out stimulus checks, while Donald Trump, under his watch, had the highest, well, how do I want to say this? Donald Trump cut taxes to the lowest rate in the history of America. And at the same time, Donald Trump himself was sending food to Americans, paying for that, sending stimulus checks, investing in the research of the vaccines, distributing the vaccines, sending stimulus checks to us, increasing American unemployment, and PPP loans for which many people will not have to pay back, bailing out the airline industry, buffering up the hospitality industry and other businesses. They were
All right,
able to do all of that, and not once did Donald
Marcel.
Trump say, well, let me look at the taxes because the
Let
federal government does not run off taxes. They have the money, they can pay it, and they will.
He,
And
all
he,
right.
and
he was he's on a run. Hey, but check this out. You have to understand something, and that was good, well spoken. But don't forget the Federal Reserve. They create the money. It dilutes the value of the dollar every time they do it. Just because the country isn't officially bankrupt yet doesn't mean we're not bankrupt.
Oh,
So we
wait,
don't. No,
not
no.
true. Not
Listen,
true.
economics is my thing. If you want to
No,
go
that's
for
not
it,
true. Well, then
give
you
it a
should
shot.
know America cannot go bankrupt. What can happen, Jack, what you're saying is yes, if inflation can definitely come and put us in a horrible situation. You are right about that. So, what do we do to control inflation? It is not our fault that the Federal Reserve is too damn dumb that when they see inflation happening, they need to control the interest rate. What the Federal Reserve is supposed to do when inflation is happening is increase the interest rate or lower the interest rate. They're also supposed to stop people and disincentivize people from borrowing so they can slow down the amount of money going into the economy. But there's another thing, Jack, that people don't talk about. Inflation in America, we tend to think of it as too much money being put into the economy. But you know, Jack, as well as I know, inflation can really just be a sign of terrible, dumb leadership that we've had a lot of. Inflation can be when you have someone who is actually incompetent of running the nation and supply chains are damaged and companies are not producing like they should. For example, what we see with gas prices is because the OPEC countries will not increase the production of fuel because they don't like Biden and he's a jackass. I'm gonna be nice to say jackass, and no one wants to work with him. So as a result, our gas prices have soared. They like to say the president has no control over that, but they definitely do have influence over it. Inflation, as regards to money, being too much money in the economy, Jack, you know as much as I know. In a fiat system, all debt is are numbers on a computer, and
Yes,
all debt turns
but
into.
let me jump in. Let me jump in.
Okay.
Hang on one second. The only reason that you're saying, oh, it's just numbers on a page, is because we do it all at the end of the barrel of a gun. You have to understand that that's coming to an end. We no longer, as we are losing our world reserve currency status because of the abuse that we have created in exporting debt. Our number one export is debt. So just back to the topic. I don't want to get you guys off track.
Well, hold
And I
on. Whoa,
appreciate.
wait. I got to
Wait,
respond to
wait,
that.
Marcel,
All right,
Marcel,
Jack.
Marcel. We don't have time, and we have another speaker. Let
Jack,
Jack
I got to
finish up his
respond to
Let
that.
me
comment.
just finish
No, you
up.
don't.
I just want to finish up by saying this. Thank
Steven.
you. Thank you for letting me come in and speak, right, and kind of push back on it. But I promise you this: the Federal Reserve cannot control the runaway inflation that we're going to see in the next 2 years. And it really has nothing to do with reparations.
Huh?
I definitely think the black
So what?
community's been screwed. The black
Yes, I
community's been
do.
screwed for years. I get it, dude. I mean, to the extent that I can, I get it. But I promise you this: they're going to tell you whatever the hell you want to hear to get into office. Keep your